Hello, so if you've received this video, somebody sent it to you, and if it was the algorithm, then it found you, it works. We're talking about grumpiness today, and I know a lot about grumpiness, as my wife could tell you, but it's one of these topics that hardly anybody talks about, and it's one of these quiet things which really doles down our lives. So we're going to break it down into different steps. So what is grumpiness? You know, we can joke about it, and we do joke about the old grumpy man and all that. But really, it's very uncomfortable when we feel grumpy. It's a prolonged bad mood, essentially. And the thing that characterizes it is we don't really know what it's about. You know, if I'm angry, I can blame it on something. Or it could really be, you know, that it's like somebody cut their car in front of my car in the street, and I'm angry because this car went right in front of it. With grumpiness, we don't know what's going on, so let's treat it as a signal. Essentially, it's a signal that I'm saturated. I just can't. There's too many emotions going on, and I don't know what to do with them. And there's a lot of unmet needs going. There's a need for safety, for emotional connection. Grumpiness is nearly always an interpersonal thing going on. There's a need for acceptance, self-esteem, self-expression, and really a deep need to feel understood. So grumpiness is already like a little bit more interesting, right? We're thinking like, perhaps there's something going on here. So grumpiness isn't that we're stupid. It's that the brain's trying to work out what's going on, and it's just a fool. So we need time on our own. So grumpiness really is, you know, it's closing down to try and understand ourselves. But if we don't focus and really have the courage to understand what this grumpiness is trying to tell me, then I'll just close down and I won't understand anything. It just might go away, or it might not go away. You could say that grumpiness is we're in a sort of problem-solving mode, where we're looking out for threats all around us. So we're a little bit more suspicious as well of everybody around us. When we're grumpy, we share judgments. We're very critical. We blame the other person. Other people get defensive when we're like this. So we end up in very sticky, nasty sort of situations. But when, on the other hand, we actually share what we're feeling and what is going on with us, then the other person can open up with empathy, and then we start to get what we want. Because in a grumpy state, we're pushing people away. It's like we're porcupines, but at the same time, we want people to come near to us, and we want some empathy, sympathy, and like, oh, we'll be okay. And we're not getting this because we're pushing people away. We're sending out double signals. So there's a lot about our language around there. So rather than falling into this criticism, judgment, we can start to say, I don't feel so great right now. I'm trying to understand what's going on. Would you be willing to listen to me a little while I try and gain some clarity? You don't have to jump in and fix me. Please just, and that would already help you, you know, that will meet your need for connection because you're being vulnerable. When we're grumpy, we're not in a vulnerable state. We're closed up totally. Our need is being met of understanding, of being felt and being seen. We start to become judgment of our own grumpiness a little bit. And then it sort of becomes meta, where we become grumpy of our grumpiness. And this is when it becomes very prolonged. It can go on for a long time. People that have chronic grumpiness, they tend to be very self-critical, very self-judgmental. They beat themselves up a lot. There's a lot of negative self-talk going on in their heads. I don't know if you can notice that, but we can do things with this, you know, it's not forever. The important thing is to observe it and then make some changes. And the other thing is having very high expectations. We feel grumpy when we feel people let us down. And more often than not, it's because we haven't really communicated what our expectations were. Now, trade our expectations for agreements. So if you're, let's say, in your office, you work really hard, you could all of a sudden want everybody to work as hard as you do. And then you get grumpy when people don't. So that's just miscommunication going on there. So we become honest with ourselves, right? I'm grumpy. I'm feeling grumpy right now. So if you're feeling grumpy right now, you say it to yourself, I'm feeling grumpy right now. This stupid English man, what is he telling me on this video? What is he talking to me about grumpiness? I know all this already. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's when we're closed in, when we think we know everything already. But we don't know everything already. I'm continually in a process of learning, and I'm open to learning, and I'm opening to hearing all sorts of other new views on this grumpiness as well. If you want to share them in the comments, I'd love that. So essentially, the grumpiness, what I'm saying is I'm in saturation. I'm not able to deal with this right now. And that's why I create all sorts of space around me. And we're not really taught about emotional intelligence, especially where I grew up in the UK. Emotions are seen as things that sort of get in the way, that aren't logical. And our grumpiness is the price that we pay for not being in contact with our emotions, not understanding what these feelings are saying to me, and just judging them as being bad. And when we judge them as bad, we judge them as not being safe, and then we create the whole crazy labyrinth in our minds, right? We need to enrich in our vocabulary around our emotions. So how do you feel now? Oh, good, or oh, bad. If we just say good or bad, we're missing so many detail points. So spend some time when you feel bad or when you feel good to identify, what is this feeling right now? What is this emotion? How can I make a gradient of it? From like being a little bit annoyed to irritated to furious, right? Grumpiness is essentially a state of being irritated. We feel irritated because we're already so sensitive. Find what is playful for you. Find what is play with other people. Since grumpiness is pretty much connected to interpersonal level, it could be that you're alone. You're on your own. So how to make friends? These are big themes. It's not going to happen from one moment to another. And this is part of my work that I enjoy very much, helping people to reconnect to their playfulness. Help them make new friends, make better quality friends as well, and guide towards a sort of more like purposeful life. Grumpiness is connected to a sense of that it's not really what's the point in life, right? And there is a point. The world needs you. The world definitely needs you and your particular way of seeing, your particular way of dark humor, maybe, or your particular point of view. I watched a video about a lady that touched me quite deeply the other day, and she was talking about how grumpy she was, and how she couldn't shake out of her grumpiness. And what it turned out to be is that grumpiness is essentially a condition where it's all about you. It's all about me. It's all about the other person, but it's very self-centered. We're worried about how to get our own needs met, and we don't know how to do this. So another way of getting out of our grumpiness is really to do something for somebody else. So have a look around you. What needs to be done? What needs to be done? But even in your own space, right? What needs to be done in your own space to tidy up a little bit, maybe get rid of some stuff. But here we're talking more about other people, Could you perhaps volunteer or do some things when nobody even knows that it's you that are doing them? They're some of the best things to do. And I know personally that my grumpiness is when things become very routine, when days become the same as the last one. We need variety. Variety is a human need. And I have a feeling that grumpiness could be a lot about being a lack of variety in our lives. 2 years ago, I was feeling pretty grumpy, and I talked to my wife about it, and I actually booked my tickets to go to India for 6 weeks. Well, I don't know if you actually need to go to India for 6 weeks on your own to go over your grumpiness. To go away for 4 or 5 days on your own somewhere, yes, that could be like a really good way of getting out of your grumpiness. And it's not like you have to get out of your grumpiness, right? That's not the point. it's just we waste a lot of time and like energy being in this state. It's also very unpleasant for other people to be around us when we're too grumpy. It's like we're making other people pay somehow for our grumpiness. Anyway, I'm just going to read through this last list to summarize it all. So first of all, noticing I'm grumpy. Don't judge it. So we're avoiding the meta grumpiness. Be curious about your grumpiness. What unmet need is underneath this grumpiness? And move your body. We didn't talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it now. Get up, dance, engage in art, go for a walk. Walking is really, really important also to help us understand what's going on. If we're just sitting down thinking about it, why am I grumpy? You might end up in a bit of a spiral. Going for a walk clarifies our mind. So walk and think. Don't listen to music, don't listen to podcasts, don't phone your friends. Just walk and be with yourself. Ask yourself some good questions. What is going on now with this feeling, right? And then turn outwards, turn towards another person, make a creative act, do something playful. And I hope this is helpful for you. And hopefully you understand that the lack of playfulness in our society creates grumpy people, Grumpy people, they don't like to be around kids, they're too noisy or this, the other. But you can turn this all around. I'm absolutely sure you can. And one of the most important things, I think, to turn this all around is to also start really looking after yourselves, to come back to like a really healthy wellness about you. And if you're interested, on my website, I have a 10-day joyful body reset wellness program. It's just short emails every day with some thoughts. You might enjoy it. Catch you again.